as a result of that demerger. That is why, if one council wishes to demerge, and as a result of that, cause costs to be imposed on the remaining councils, then it is only fair that that council who has made that decision pays for those costs.
On 91.7 ABC Coast FM, Energy and Water Minister Stephen Robertson with me this morning. We're talking about the costs that could be heading the Gold Coast Council's way if indeed the Gold Coast Council chooses to split from Allconex. Here's a scenario for you. If Redlands and Logan says that they would also like to split, does that mean then there'd be no costs incurred?
Oh no, there'd be costs incurred. They'd be shared throughout the three councils.
There's not much.
They all decided to do that.
Okay, there's not much of an incentive though for the Gold Coast City Council to split. If they do, they're going to be severely punished, and not just once, but possibly in an ongoing fashion.
No, this is not punishment, Nicole. This is the harsh realities of the campaign, the results of the campaign that has been run by Gold Coast City Council. They went out and deliberately sought to try and blame the state government for the increased water bills. They said all along that if they could have their water business back, that they could deliver water cheaper to the people of the Gold Coast. We have said to them, if you think you can do that, and you can prove that, then we will allow you to demerge. Now, as a result of that, they then have to go away and do the hard yakka to find out whether they can in fact deliver water cheaper to the people of the Gold Coast than Allconex can. That, in the harsh reality of day, comes with some costs. And those costs, as a result of a decision that Gold Coast City Council may take, have to be paid for, and those costs will be incurred by Gold Coast City Council if they go down that path. That is a fair way to proceed on this matter.
It just sounds like the state government has backed council into a corner.
No, not at all. What we're doing, let's go back and retrace history as to how we got here, Nicole.
Well, before you do that...
Gold Coast went on a deliberate campaign, the Mayor of the Gold Coast went on a deliberate campaign to blame the state government for the increase in water charges that Allconex imposed. They then said we could deliver water cheaper than Allconex can. What we've said is, okay, prove it. If you can deliver water cheaper to the people of the Gold Coast, then we will allow you to demerge.
Okay, I suppose the council's damned if they do and damned if they don't. In the eyes of the ratepayers, council's acting because ratepayers are jumping up and down saying our water prices are too high.
That's right, and we understand that, and we have pointed out time and time again that one of the problems is that the Gold Coast City Council refuses to reinvest its dividend, $100 million this year that they'll get from Allconex as a profit on the water sold. They can rebate their ratepayers out of that $100 million profit that they will earn this year.
Okay, well, let's not go down this path because the argument is the state government's bulk water prices, and we've certainly spent many minutes talking about this.
And we accept responsibility for our part of the water bill. That is the bulk water costs.
Which is a large part of the water bill.
No, it's not. It's around about 25%, Nicole, and we've proved that time and time again with the information that we put out there. People only need to look at their water bills, see the cost of state government bulk water, and see what else they pay in terms of water and wastewater services, which are council-related costs.
Okay, 9:16. Look, let's move on. Obviously, the Gold Coast City Council has some big decisions to make, and I'd be very keen to get some figures too on just how much it's going to cost ratepayers. And I believe, according to Ron Clarke, that the Act to allow this to happen is yet to be formalised. Is that right?
No, it's been... I don't know where Ron's coming from this, but I actually put it into the Parliament a couple of weeks ago, and will be debated probably in the budget week in the next fortnight.
Yeah.
Councils have been consulted all along. They've been sitting around the table in terms of drafting up this legislation. So I don't quite know where Ron is coming from on this point.
Water and Energy Minister Stephen Robertson with me on 91.7 ABC Coast FM. On to power prices. They're going up 6.6% on July 1. The Queensland Government said no one would be worse off in a deregged electricity market, but Queenslanders are. We are paying more. Minister, why?
No, again, let us revisit what then Premier Beattie actually said. The decision was taken a number of years ago to privatise the retail section of the electricity industry here in Queensland. So government still owns Energex, still owns Ergon outside southeast Queensland. We still own Powerlink and about 50% of the generating capacity here in Queensland. What we privatised, what we sold, was the retail arms of Energex and Ergon, allowing private companies to come in and compete. What Premier Beattie said at that time was that as a result of that privatisation of the retail arms of Energex and Ergon, that no customers would be worse off. And that is correct. That is correct. He did not say at any stage that electricity prices would not increase. That is an entirely separate matter.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your assets then. The Queensland Government owns electricity assets, and yesterday the Director of the Institute of Public Affairs Deregulation Unit, Dr. Alan Rand, said that was a factor driving increased prices here. He says studies have shown that government-owned infrastructure is less efficient than privately owned infrastructure. Is government-owned infrastructure less efficient? Could it be managed more efficiently?
Well, if what you're suggesting is that the Queensland Government should go down the path of selling or privatising electricity, then that is not going to happen so long as I am Energy Minister. The only people who want to talk about privatisation is the LNP. Their Treasury spokesperson is on the record as wanting to sell the poles and wires.
Okay. So government's going to hold on to its infrastructure. Could it be better managed so that electricity prices could come down?
Well, they operate as commercial entities. They have commercial boards and who report to shareholding ministers, of which I am one. So they are required to operate as if they were in the private sector, but they remain publicly owned bodies and assets.
Okay, now
they're called government-owned corporations, and that means they have to operate as if they were in the private sector. We also, and not many people probably understand this, we are also actually part of the national electricity market, which means that, for example, New South Wales could sell Queensland electricity. If we're so inefficient here in Queensland, why is it that every day of the week we actually export electricity down to southern states? Why? Because we can deliver it cheaper than the states where so-called private operators are operating. That speaks volumes in terms of suggestions by right-wing think tanks like the Institute of Public Affairs.
Okay.
In terms of what they've been saying.
9:19. Minister, on another issue, saving money on pool operating costs. This was very interesting. This was brought to my attention yesterday. I took a call from a listener who works in the swimming pool industry. He says people can save money by installing bigger chlorinators so their pumps don't have to run as long, and he said